the Hadoop and the big data, or for that matter, any project in my mind, is just two things. There are only two things happening. One, you are storing some data. In part, you are doing some processing on that data. That's all is happening in life. All these projects. So yes, there are always some exceptions, but I would say 95% of the things fall under this category. Two things. If you look in the classroom example, which I said, the kids were writing down the answer paper. These two things are happening. That's all. In that scenario, kids writing answer paper, where is the data? What storing? They are storing the answers, right? Whatever they are writing, that's the data. What is the processing? What is the processing happening on that? The teacher is grading it. She's scoring them. She's ranking them. That's the processing. That's all. There are two things happening. Anytime you take the example, mostly simplicity, you can divide that. And as I said, let's try to keep life simple. There are only two things happening. One is the storage and processing. So that same thing is happening in the Hadoop world as well. One side we have storage, which is HDFS. What does HDFS stand for? Remember that Google said that GFS, Google File System. So when it came the cloud again, everybody changed it, and they made it as Hadoop Distributed File System. It's a file system because everything is kept in a file, not in a database or some kind of thing. It's a file, every single piece of file. It's distributed because it's kept in a cluster. It's not in one place. Remember I was talking about the 15 nodes and some data is here, some is all spread across. That's distributed. Because it belongs to Hadoop, they call it as Hadoop. So Hadoop Distributed File System. So that's the storage mechanism. And processing, remember Google came out with the MapReduce engine. So how do we process this thing? How do we find the top right searching article in your search, whatever keyword you have mentioned? How do we do that? They use MapReduce. So these are two pieces happening. Same thing happening in the big data world, HDFS and MapReduce. This is a side, the MapReduce side or the processing side is changing a little bit, and I will talk about that. And Spark comes in a very important role in this side, right? And there's some misconceptions people have that I will clarify that, and that's why this slide is very important. Simple, but very important. Storage and processing. Just